So, good morning class. My name is Mohamed Ghanan. This is Jason, Sarah, Yushin, and Cheryl. And today we'll be talking about the principles of microeconomy and how it really relates to higher education. So, as all of you probably know, higher education is a tertiary education, meaning at the end of a student's academic career, they will be rewarded with an academic degree. This can be helpful for jobs and so on. But this is often done through institutions, which means universities and colleges. So let's look at some of the characteristics of a higher education market. Well, to start it off, higher education really falls under an education industry. In this industry, they have their own marketplace. That's why they are able to differentiate between each other, which is my last point, where institutions are able to mix it up. They are free to offer different services, they're offering different career choices for students, but that's because of their ability to control this marketplace that others don't really have a word in. So, who are the buyers and who are the sellers? Well, the buyer is basically us students. We're the ones demanding in the market. We're demanding for a service, an ability, an opportunity to study. So, in Malaysia, we're the students pursuing a higher degree, especially at higher education such as in colleges, which is what we're doing right now in college. In regards for the seller, they're the suppliers of the product and service, which is the education. They often do this in institutions such as the college itself, which is the macro view of the whole thing. In regards to the micro view, it's often the lecturers are the ones who are providing the service. They're the ones giving us knowledge and they're giving us their teaching skills as much as they possibly can. So now I'm going to pass on to Sarah to continue.
Good morning, my name is Sarah and I'm going to explain about market structure of higher education. So everyone knows that in this industry they place their own marketplace, so it's very hard to distribute which marketplace they're going on. But with a few examples such as Inti, Monash, Taylor, and Sunway, we have classified they are falling under oligopoly and monopolistic competition market structure. So oligopoly is where few sellers are dominating the market and have the control over the price of the product, and there is no close substitute, and selling homogeneous or differentiated product. Whereas monopolistic competition, their size of firms are small, but number of the firms are huge, and there is close substitute, and they place their own price policy and non-competitive pricing. I know it sounds very opposite, but it works in their mixed form. So under oligopoly market structure, with some example, that we have choose few sellers, whereas the number of customers is high. It's true. There is countable number of university and uncountable number of students. And few firms are dominating the market, gives the benefit of considerable control over the price of the product, which means students get to choose the university. Next is competition. Intense competition among the seller due to few players in the game. Yes, there is a number of universities are competing each other, and they have to be sensitive of their competitors changing price policy, and they should be ready and to take an action. Next is exit barriers. There is no clear exit barriers in this industry, but there is relatively difficult to enter for new starter, such as they have to follow government rules and regulations, license, economy of scale, and high setup cost capital requirements, and complex technology to provide to your demand, which means students. And sometimes the existing large firms work as an entry barrier to the new entrants, which means if you are the new starter in this education industry, you have to start competing with already large firms, which is Taylor, Sunway, Inti, etc. And lack of uniformity among the firm in terms of their size, some are big and some are small. And next is monopolistic competition market structure, and product differentiation is one of the factors, which is it's not identical but it's slightly different from each other, where they are offering same degree, diploma, certification program, but inside if you look into it, the course is identically same. And it remains close substitution of each other and hence cannot be priced very differently from each other. So So whenever you go to education fair and ask for the price, they will show you the brochure and their price is relatively similar. And large number of firms, stiff competition between existing firms, and unlike perfect competition, the firms produces the differentiated product, which are substitute for each other. This is the educational industry. The teaching is always going to be equal. Last but not least, we have the product variation. Variation in courses, which means products offered by several firms, diploma, degree, certificate, foundation is all provided. And changes in facilities, the change could be in form of new design, better teachers, lecturers, new facilities, better tables and chairs and teaching materials. And product differentiation is the selling. The market depends on the uniqueness of its product and the extent which it differs from the product. And for the market barriers to enter and exit, I will leave up to Yushin. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan, and I'll be talking about the barriers to entry. As educational industry is a mixed market structure of oligopoly and monopolistic, so the level of barriers to entry will be high and it might be medium. The first barriers is government regulations. All colleges have to offer bachelor degrees programs at diploma level and also foundation and postgraduate programs. And for community and polytechnic college, they have to offer certificate and programs at diploma level. And one more is for private university, they have to award their own degrees, qualification, diploma and foundation studies, and for private colleges as well. Actually, they must be able to award them qualification and diploma at diploma and certification level as well as 3+0 degree. The second barriers will be education license. Under Malaysian Act of 1996 and under Section 79, the person who start up business in educational industry must register with Registrar General of the Ministry of Education. And under Section 82, the business started in Malaysia educational institution, they must have a certificate of registration and it must be shown clearly in the buildings. Section 2 is other national colleges are set up by the ministry. They must also have the educational license in order to operate legally. The next barriers will be high capital requirement. To open or to start up a university, they have to invest a lot on the online learning. The technology for INTI, they have Blackboard, and also they have to provide a comfortable environment, facility, etc. For example, in INTI KL, they are located in the heart of Kuala Lumpur, so the rental fee for this building will be very expensive. The last barriers will be economy of skills, as the industry already have few colleges there, so they are actually gaining economy of skills, means their company is actually quite large. So it is hard for a new startup company to survive and to enter the industry market. And now I'll pass it to Cheryl.
So for the behavior of the price cut, we are going to cover the long-term and short-term of the price that will influence the profit in the companies, in the colleges like Monash, Sunway, INTI, and etc. And other than that, we are going to cover the demand and supply for the education industry and also influence the profit of all the colleges like Monash, Sunway, and etc. And also we are going to cover the demand and supply for the educational industry, and for this slide we are going to look furthermore in the INTI campus in Malaysia. So there's 5 different INTI campus in Malaysia, which is Nilai, Subang, KL, Penang, and Sabah. So as you can see there's like various price for the local student and international student. Obviously, international student is much more expensive than compared to local student because of the visa and etc. And you will see the price difference between like Subang and KL. Why is it Subang is more expensive compared to KL? And there is a lot of reasons like the location, the facilities, and etc. So for Subang, for example, like Subang offer more cost compared to KL. Therefore, their price is also more expensive than KL. And next, we're going to see the demand and supply for the higher educational industry. So based on our research, we have found out that there is about 707,736 students who is demanding in the educational industry. And for the supply, there is about 43 public, 31 private, and 9 foreign university branch campus, and 414 private colleges in Malaysia who is supplying the educational to in this industry. Therefore, for the market, now currently they are falling in the surplus, and to avoid surplus, we need to lower down our price for all the colleges in order to reach the equilibrium. And to lower down the price, the demand will be higher, so it will reach the equilibrium, and same goes for shortage. For shortage, you will just have to increase the price and it will reach the equilibrium for the demand. And you might be also wondering who will be setting the price for all the colleges. There's 2 colleges is differentiate for government and also for private. So for government colleges are like government will set the price, and it's to encourage. Okay. So you might be wondering who will be setting the price for all the colleges, and there is like private and government colleges. So for INTI and Taylor's and Sunway, all they are falling in the private colleges. Therefore, for private colleges, all the people is going to set price higher compared to the government. And now I'm going to pass to Jason.
Okay, the behavior of the price. The government are encouraging more people to study at the reasonable price and to ensure an education workforce bright future. Private universities provide a more high cost to the student because they provide a special cost to the student that public universities are not provided. Long-term and short-term running. Most of the education industry will generate profit in the long-term basis, as the first few months usually to cover the cost. Short-term is the often hard to education industry to profit from due to the portion of it being paid through cost in direct materials such as this. So conclusion, choosing the industry is higher education industry. The seller and buyers is higher education industry. It is institution of or lecturer and students. The market structure is measure of oligopoly and monopolistic competition. But for the demand and supply chain, if the industry has not demand, it will become slow and options. It has something to do with the population of Malaysia. The future of industry is bright, and Ministry of Education is committed to create technical and vocational education and training. Thank you.